itself. They've done multiple multiple posts, which I've been covering for you, hinting about Pulse Chain. Look at this: Pulse Chain, Pulse X, Pulse. My Pulse is pegged. Pulse, Pulse, Pulse. What's happening? I don't know. Is it going to be a listing? I guess we'll see. Going to need to be more patient. I have urgent breaking news here for you there, friends. So, you know, I've been covering stablecoin super cycle. I've been talking about the Genius Act and stablecoin super cycles. It's going to be a theme. It's going to be a theme, right? That's what super cycle all about. Well, here's the thing. Urgent breaking news. The US government Genius Stablecoin Act, that's what it's called, right? It will make most of crypto stablecoins illegal. So most of crypto stablecoins, they all become illegal. And it does include the Pulse Chain stablecoins. Okay, the ones that, you know, say the Pulse Chain KOLs, because friends, remember, PDI is a cult within a cult. PDI's only got 5% approval within Pulse Chain community. That's why it's very, very deeply contrarian, right? 5%. The other 95% of the people, they're listening to KOLs who talk about the other existing stablecoins. Well, bad news for them, you'll be made illegal. So, because you look up to a bank and everything, if this goes through, you're totally legal. You're not allowed to hand out yield. You can't even be issued by you as like just a random company. It has to come from like a government-approved insider deep state bank, right? So, the Stablecoin Act is by evil US Fed scum, and it makes interest yield as illegal. Plus, has to be a stablecoin issued by a scum bank, and they want full KYC control as well. So everybody who you send it to, no, they want all your KYC. It's like, it's just, yeah, that's a scum game, isn't it? Therefore, it's all up to PDI to save the crypto industry from this dark path. There is no kill switch for PDI. The answer is Pulse Chain PDI. PDI is crypto's greatest story. Don't stop believing.
QuickBooks gives me the superpower to automate my invoices, track expenses, and get paid fast, so I can get back to what I love. Get more done in less time with QuickBooks Online.
So, begging for a pagan heart, that's literally true, friends. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Look at this post from Mr. 99 Capital. Richard Hart knows Pulse Chain is reliant on bridged-in e-stables that will force KYC soon. This is know your customer. That's where you hand in your license, passport, everything. Okay, basically, like they get to take all your details and they can look up your butthole. All right. All of Pulse Chain's attempts at stablecoins will be illegal too, and those teams will cave. Pulse Chain's only hope is PDI. No team, no off switch, no KYC. PDI epitomizes Richard Hart's decentralized ethos. I love that. Okay, so they will cave. You think these people? I believe in decentralization. Yeah, the bank's just gonna start shut you off. You think they're really gonna stand for it? No, you're not. No, you're not. So there you go. So it's just wild how the universe works. Like a lot of people, don't you hear? What do you hear from all the biggest Pulse Chain KOLs? What do they say? We already have the stable coins. If you want to have a stable coin, come and get this stable coin. It's very, very stable already. What now? There you go. You're going to be made illegal in 2 seconds, bro. You will be made illegal in literally 2 seconds. What are you going to do now? You're going to find the bank that's going to go against the US Fed? No. They'll get taken out too. They're not going to go, oh, I believe in Richard Hart decentralization. Here, let me go break all my banking rules and risk myself being in jail. No, they won't. Good luck. What are you going to do? You're going to cave. What are you going to do? Good question. Think about it. Also, there's no team. Check this out, bro. There's no team. Name me a stablecoin in crypto with no team. That's right. You can't find one. Get it through your head. This is a first cycle unicorn. There's no team. Habibi Albi. There's no kill switch. Okay, theoretically, Katie can come in and dump the shit of it. You know what I mean? There's no kill. You can't actually turn it off. They could dump supply, but that's on a Uniswap linked formula pool. That's on the PulseX pool. There's no kill switch. Makes you think, right? There's no KYC either. Literally decentralization dream. By the way, we made crypto for this. So I want you to read this post from Richard Hart. Look at this. Capitalism thrives on competition. Cryptocurrency thrives on decentralization. a bill which cripples competition by deciding what code you can write and what code people can run from the privacy of their own homes, it's un-American. And one must ask themselves, why would certain people be promoting a bill which prevents someone from giving you free coins? That's the yield, right? He's like, why are you making in the bill you can't hand out yield? It's people giving you free coins. Why do you like that? A bill which prevents yield. Why would any consumer possibly prefer then a megacorp have to keep the yield instead of give it to users? Explain. He's demanding them to explain. Then he calls out USDC, C for cucks, USDT, T for trash, DAI, estrogen DAI, stablecoin, stable genius. Very interesting. I think, friends, we're going to need the American themed hat now. Because before, right, people just think we're smoking some really good stuff. They thought, you know, you're a bit too high in the sky. No, this is all in theme. All of it. And that's why it's really a stablecoin super cycle. My friend Mr. Meme Slayer. Richard! You're a wizard, Harry. Beautiful. Richard Hart. Awesome. I don't know if PETA's going to go to $1. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't try to know the future. Because I don't know the future. I'll never know the future. I just like to take good bets. Okay? I try to look at stuff. I try to take good bets. Okay? Now, in crypto, because I'm holding long term, I can't have like a long-term stop loss of like 10%. That's like trading, right? So you have to risk the whole thing. So if you're going to risk the whole thing, when I look at something, I want my upside to more than make up for it. Because I always assume it can go to zero overnight. And by the way, PETA did go to zero overnight twice. Literally, it did go to zero twice, friends, which you can see right here. It went to zero the first time, 99.93%, and then it went to zero again. Caddy killed it, 99.79%. So it actually went to zero twice, okay? So now I know, like, hey, I'm going to assume that I can't wake up and actually stop myself out. It just goes to zero. Okay, so that means I have to look for stuff that more than makes up for it. And that's why I look for asymmetric bets. The word is asymmetric. Asymmetric, friends, where it's skewed, as in like the upside skewed, but you can only lose 1x, yeah? So your downside is 1x. Your upside, if it works out. I mean, like, friends, here is PulseX, for example. I think, man, PulseX can do. Imagine PulseX does like a 50x from here, friends. It gets to 18 stack price. Think about it. You're risking 1 unit. You're risking 1, and this is to make 50, right? Isn't that crazy? So your risk equals minus 100%. Reward equals 50,000%. Right? That's for 5,000%. There you go. So around 50x. Okay. See that? So risk 1 to make 50. If you keep looking for stuff like that, see, you're not every. That's why these things are rare. That's why it's really rare. It's not like Chainlink. You're not risking 1 to make 50. Chainlink, you're risking 1 at this point to make like 8. Okay, 8 to 10. See, and that's Chainlink reward. That's tokenization. You're not risking 1 to. So that's why they're rare. They're rare, but when you find them, you got to take advantage of them. By the way, another good opportunity to take is like you look for stuff that gets really cheap. You know, but now the bear market's gone for a lot of these coins. But actually, there's still bear market territory for Pulse Chain. That's why, man, it's right here. It's literally right here. Like, you can't buy Chainlink back at like, you know, $6. Right? But it's still like, it's 3x higher. Whatever. It's like, you know, it's going, what is it now? Like $15. Okay, it's like 2.5x higher. Just give you an example. So I want you to take a moment to appreciate, friends. Firstly, here's baby Somi. Okay? Take a moment to appreciate how deep of a visionary genius you have to be to construct a first cycle unicorn in the stablecoin sector. Think about it.
Says deflation. There's less PulseX now than there's ever been. And for the rest of time, there will always be less PulseX than there's ever been because it only burns and it can never inflate. And, you know, I think 1.4 trillion of it has been.
So just think about how, like, Richard's really smart. He's not, he says 140 IQ. This is not, I don't think it's 140 IQ. It's like so rare to have this gift of this marketing stuff. This is inhuman. This is not inhuman. This is like beyond what's possible. That, like, this is wild. He has like this talent, friends. I just want to show you, like, you know, friends, you know Lionel Messi, for example. You know Lionel Messi, you know the football player, right? Lionel Messi, if you watch, I've watched some interview. I've got this one gentleman, right? He speaks about what it was like to play against the guy. Yeah. If you hear other people talk about Lionel Messi, now of course they're football players, they're all sport people, they're not really like communicative, right, with like words and stuff. But what they basically say is like, he's Lionel Messi, right? He's like looking at the pitch. He's not even looking around, but he's got like a third eye. He can like, he's got a 3D visualization scope of the field when he's right now. He's literally looking at the ball. He's like one of the shortest players ever. He's not like one of these huge 6 foot plus people, right? He's just like looking at the ball, and he's doing stuff, and he can just like ping where someone is. And if you watch how fast he does it on camera, he's not like looking, oh, I will now go up there. He can feel it. It's a 3. That's actually the highest sports, the top of the top of the top of the top people in sports, basketball, football, and stuff out here. They have this little edge where like their third eye, if you will, you know, it's kind of like, it's almost like this remote viewing. It's like this, they're called like your sixth sense for the game. Yeah. You basically, you're tuning into these signals that like the average person, you don't know how to tune in. Now, you want to know what's something interesting, friends? You know me, because I'm here 18 hours a day, you know, all the signals that we see in markets, you know, like news and stuff, they don't affect me because I'm here 18 hours a day. So that's why I've come to realize, why am I a unicorn? Why can I do what I do? I started thinking about, am I special? Am I like, was I born different? Maybe. But another logical explanation for it is, because I'm here 18 hours a day, I can achieve like a Zen state by default all the time. Because nothing surprises me. I have this 3D view of everyone. So when like things are happening in the marketplace, I'm like so in tune with the programming. Sometimes I have like a precognition. It's not just predicting what comes next. It comes to me like, oh, I see what's happening next, and then it does, right? But here's the thing: if you were to put me, friends, if you were to put me, I guess, in a doctor, in like a, you know, maybe a surgery, you know, one of the theater rooms, like I have no idea what I'm doing. Imagine a nurse is yelling at me like, get out of him, get that soy out of his blood. What are you doing? You spoony scalpel and do all this. You know, I don't know what I'm doing because there's 1,000 signals coming out. My brain's going wild. Something also interesting, friends, if you study remote viewing, you know, we talk about a lot in the UFO stuff out here, UFO talk. Remote viewing, friends, you don't like imagine what something draws like, okay? The best ones in the world to do these, they sit there, and for some that we don't scientists, we don't even know how it works. They've tried to see how it works, but they don't know exactly how it works. They just know what it does. Where you're getting something in your brain gets beamed this image. You basically, you know the future. You don't guess. Like, it just, these signals start coming to your brain, right? I think Richard, he can do that with like marketing and people. Yeah. That's what he's like, super. He can like astral project himself out of his own body, and he can like look at the world from like a pleb and what they want to hear. He does this in debates. You can actually see it, like, this super gifted. You gotta think about this, right? That's why he thinks about words to use, because he's like, oh, what's like, you know, I'm trying to target someone with like, you know, less than $10,000 net worth who always gets hit by scams, right? So his brain logically goes, okay, what's that person want to see? He puts himself into a pleb's shoes straight away, and he like imagines, what billboards are they noticing? You know, who do they hang around? You know, what types of languages, what type of TV shows are they watching? And then he uses that. It's insane, right? For most people, they have to go research his stuff. It comes naturally to him. That's why he's able to do what he does, right? So it's different, right? But also that's why people don't have trust with him a lot, because they're like, you're so superhuman, you could be fooling me, right? I remember I even sent him. Maybe if you remember this, Richard, if you're watching, I sent him a voice clip like 3 years ago, 2022. He was on, I think maybe Dr. Exologist is one of the late streams, one of his very last streams where he appeared somewhere. He's like, I don't know why people just don't trust me for some reason, right? And then I ended up figuring it out, and I messaged him. I go, hey man, just sending you a message. Keep doing what you're doing. And I said, like, the reason why people don't trust you is because you're so sharp. You're like the Terminator. You don't stutter. So people, you look like a freaking robot when you talk. The guy doesn't stutter. The guy doesn't say, Friends, Look at me. Like, he doesn't pause the videos. Friends, if you watch this one when I knew this guy's a freak. It's one of his videos. Maybe you guys can find it. The guy, he hasn't slept in like 25 hours. And like, he's about to fall asleep. But his words, he's like reading like retardio messages in the chat stream. His brain doesn't skip. It was literally a fully functioning brain. And that's when I looked at this. I go, this guy is not normal, man. You haven't slept in 25 hours and your brain just literally not one stutter, didn't one slip up. The yes didn't become no's and the no's didn't become yeses. Like, it was, man, it was wild. And he's doing it live. That was the craziest thing, you know? So that's why, okay, you can't see how Pete I pegs and I can't either. Yeah. But let's continue, right? So think about that genius, right? To be able to construct the first cycle unicorn in the stablecoin sector. And you started your magic when it was still a whopping 4 years before the entire crypto industry even knew that stablecoins would be a regulatory attack vector by overreaching government.
Grammarly provides a bunch of different suggestions to improve the correctness and style of your writing. Different colors denote different suggestion types. These are correctness suggestions, which fix mistakes in spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Clarity suggestions like this make your writing concise and more easily understood, so you get your point across faster. Here we have a tone suggestion, which helps you represent yourself better and sound more resonant to your reader. Finally, Grammarly can also rewrite entire paragraphs and sentences in a click, so you can spend less time wordsmithing and more time on the big picture. That's how you get mistake-free, polished writing that drives work forward. Get Grammarly Pro today and write like a pro.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job and Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier.
Wild. He started 4 years ago. That's an eternity. You understand? That's why, like, it's so early, man. Like, he just... In Hex DeFi, he was thinking about this in 2019. And then we had DeFi season 2020. And then we had 2021. And then they all came attack to us in 2022. This is what you just, like, friends, I would have put like a 0% chance of this happening. He's earlier to the stablecoin narrative than he was with Hex, with DeFi. That's the crazy part. I mean, I can even show it to you on the Ethereum chart, for example, because I know where they all launched. So, man, this is wow, I can't believe this. Okay, so he was thinking about Hex here, right? He was actually thinking about Hex here. Did Hex here in 2019. Hex launches right here. And he was early with he was early with Synthetics and Chainlink. They were all building for DeFi too. Okay, so he was part of the super early. The difference is Richard didn't have an insider team who got all the tokens. That was the difference. So he's as early as Synthetics, Chainlink, Aave, who were all building for the DeFi stuff. Yeah, so he was in that early pack. But they all had insider teams, like I said. They get given tokens and like ICOs and stuff out here, right? There was none of that. Richard does Hex ICO here, pretty much the adoption amplifier. And then we have DeFi season here. So just like this, I know this doesn't look like much on chart, but this is an eternity. Like, if you are a year early in crypto, that's like being 4 years early in the real world. It's 1 to 4, okay? That's how hard it is. So that's 1 year early. Now, I want to tell you something, okay? Richard was thinking about the stablecoin stuff here, man. Literally here. Let's do a big... He was thinking about stablecoin stuff here. Okay. Friends, look how freaking visionary this dude is. Okay, when are we seeing this stablecoin stuff out here? You understand how this is like... That's why a lot of people in Hex as well. Friends, I'm in Hex. I love Hex, but... Warlord Richard lovers from season 1 Richard, okay, they are in disbelief at this. Okay, they literally never seen anything like this. So now I've just inserted the PDI logo. Look at this. He is literally, look at this. So they're in disbelief. They're like, no, you can't. You can't tell me that he outdid his Hex narrative. No, can't believe it. Because when he made Hex, he goes, this is perfect. The code is perfect. It goes after the biggest store of value, the biggest market cap in the world, which is store of value. It's a better Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best. Blah, blah, blah. It's just inconceivable, right? It just like, no, can't compute. And he's even earlier, right? That's why the returns are huge, okay? So you have to drop your ego. It's got nothing to do with, friends, I like Hex and PDI. It's not Hex or PDI. I like Hex and PDI, okay? I'm just telling you, that's why this thing is so controversial. And also, that's why PDI from the bottom has a higher reward number. Because 10,000x was the Hex one, right? So PDI's is even higher as a multiple. It's because there's more uncertainty. The guy fuds it himself, by the way. You get it? Like, and this is how wild it is. Still today, he has no competition. That's wild, man. He's got no competition with this. I'm telling you, this is the greatest crypto narrative. All right, and I'll say almost ever. Right? It means a lot to us because this is our chance to be in a unicorn. Did you get into Hex? Did you get into the Hex day one? Even if you did, you dropped still. You went 90% down. Okay, but you're still early enough, right? That's good for you. Okay, but did you get into the Ethereum ICO? You're still up from that point. What about the Bitcoin early days? You see what I mean? Like these are, friends, these are so rare. By the way, just because I'm talking like this, it can still go to zero. It went to zero twice, man. Peter went to zero twice. You can go to Peter. You can go to zero again. I'm just, bro, look. Like, friends, remember, you ever heard that saying, right? Where geniuses, like if you're smart, you can hit a target. But if you're a genius, you can literally hit the target. If you're a genius visionary, you can hit a target nobody can see. Bro, this guy, friends, he's literally, let's get an arrow here, a bow and arrow. Okay. Richard was literally shooting right here. This guy was freaking shooting a stablecoin in 2021. Right, he's literally hitting a target that we can't even see. Now, I have to put a target emoji here for friendship and kindness. Do you know what I mean? He's literally hitting a target we can't even freaking see or fathom. All right, that's why this thing, you start to look at all of it and you're like, oh my gosh. Look, when I see this, I'm like, it can only be one dude. Duh. Right? It's not Toby's mustache. It's not me. I can't see shit 4 years into the future. If I'm lucky, it's 4 or 5 months. And even then, you know how wildly unpredictable they are. And by the way, we can see stuff. We don't make stuff. He makes it. Also, another hint. He says, one of the best ways to predict the future is to make it. That's a Richard Hart quote. So that's why I even have it here, right? So you still had to have the foresight to conceive of a target, a problem, and the solution well before anyone in the crypto industry could blink. Geniuses can hit a target you can't even see. Stablecoin super cycle. Only a genius who lived on top of a sandwich shop could even conceive of that. Pulse Chain is PDI's greatest story. All right. So remember, yeah, a win for Pulse PLS is a win for all of us. Well, just know where you are on the risk curve. Yeah. Look, because, friends, we're in a cult within a cult. Everyone's cult. You know, culture. Cult is in culture, friends. You know, not satanic stuff. Culture, strong community. Yeah. You gotta remember as well, because a lot of people, friends, I met a friend recently. Says he watches my videos. I know it's hard to grasp. I'm here 18 hours a day, just so you can see it. In crypto, we are all in the same ocean. All of us. Yeah. The waves go up, we all go up together. The waves go down, we go down together. Okay. If you want to take, remember, in markets, risk is what you don't know. Okay. It's just what you don't know. Events that can happen that you don't know. In Ethereum, the risk is lower than Pulse Chain. So your upside reward is lower. Okay. Ethereum's risk of abandonment, where people walk away from the chain and call it a failure, is zero. Pretty much. It's near zero at this point. Yeah. Ethereum's risk that they'll make products in the future that nobody wants to use Also low risk. Why? They already have a network effect right here. They've already got a bit Ethereum spot ETF. You see these risks are lower? Right. Ethereum has different risks. Ethereum is, the risk that you won't be able to store as much value as Bitcoin. Yeah? That gives you lower reward. But if you're talking about Pulse Chain has Ethereum's risk plus more risks. Right? We had attacked by the SEC. They can do damage. Attacked by Interpol. They can do damage. Right? They can. Not they will. They can do damage. Right? Right? Richard Hart could walk away. We're centralized. In that regard, the power is centralized, right? Doesn't mean it's bad, right? Like, for example, imagine you're in Ethereum ICO and then Vitalik walks away because he made like 20 grand. He's like, I'm rugging your sears. You lose. Okay? But there's a teething process you have to get through. So Pulse Chain, friends, has more risk on Ethereum. But still, then you have subcoins in Pulse Chain, which are more risk on PLS. PLS is the whole community. Yeah, and then you have PDI. PDI is further down the risk curve. So if you're looking at a risk curve, Pulse is here, and then PDI is like further out on the risk curve, right? Like this. Yeah, actually, that's how it look like. So see, PDI gives you a higher return, but it's higher risk. And PLS is here. And if you go all the way to the bottom of the screen, it would be like, what would here be like, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's how it would look like. So it would look like, your curve is like, it's going up along the screen, the risk curve. So even though we know all this, it doesn't mean that you necessarily win at all, okay? But look, man, look, how many times I've told you this? I don't give a shit what people think. I don't care, okay? It's an ocean of voices. 99.999% is just literally actual noise. Just whitewash noise. Okay, most people's opinions don't matter. Because if you sit in my seat in this squeaky chair, you get to see, candle up, green emotions, green happiness. Everything's green, green, green. Candle up, that's what happens. Okay, candle down, red emotions, red vibes, angry, depressed, stop talking about it. It's the same thing. Up and down, up. Doesn't tell you anything about the future. I see a cult within a cult. It's PDI's underpriced. Pulse Chain's underpriced. Ethereum's underpriced. The business cycle's underpriced. Everything's underpriced. Okay? We just do research. We sit around here, figure out, does this thing have product market fit? Now, a lot of people, they ask, right, Somi, please, do you even have one inkling, one little idea of how PDI could get to $1? So basically what they want is, and I get it, man, you want a path that looks like it can work, where everything, the story tale works out. The fairy tale. I don't know one. I really don't know one. But I want to tell you, when Richard bought Bitcoin early, he did not know how Bitcoin could end up on BlackRock's balance sheet. He did not know that path. When you're buying into Ethereum early, you did not know how it's going to end up with an ETF. You had no idea. They had nothing on it. You don't know how they're going to code a decentralized exchange. But by the way, when you wanted to buy Ethereum was 31 cents, man. That was the ICO price. 31 cents. There's no DeFi. There's no NFTs. There's no ICOs. There's literally nothing on it. It's just a Russian dude, 4,000 IQ alien, can literally teleport out of our space time and just and zap everyone and disappear. Okay, best time to buy it. So you have to be comfortable with navigating uncertainty. There are just some things we just don't know. Because I'm a student of the market as well, friends. Like, we know that the price is this low, bro. If we had a path, we're up here. If we had a path, we're up higher. Ask yourself, though, after you saw Richard FUD the crap out of it, do you even want there to be a path known? No, you don't. Why? Because it would invite non-believer scum to be a liability and invite the next round of FUD. Wouldn't it? Yes, it would. So, I'm still liking this chart. Remember, friends, PDI is just, there's just too many signs, bro, to ignore. Pulse, I still have Pulse, PulseX, Hex, Inc. All of them, they're all exciting, but they're all just the Pulse trade. Everything is betting on Pulse winning. That's it. So, I do believe we're destined for greatness. I know we're destined to greatness. I'm curious, man. how does the story play out? But I'm still always curious. But really, does it change anything? No. That's just like your intellectual dopamine hit. For the rest of us, we know we're not going to get all the answers. Maybe we don't even deserve all the answers. And you don't need all the answers. Because it's a believer's cycle. Like, subscribe, but I'll catch you soon.
But first, this week, while President Trump was making history in the Middle East, pursuing peace and forging partnerships with a bold new direction, yes, Trump has rejected the neocon warhawk interventionists that have caused astonishing damage to the region. This is what he's preaching.
Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombs.